Good morning, friends and traders. Welcome to the Market Forecast. I am Dan Hodgman. It is Monday, August 31st. Hoag's not going to be here today. He's extending his weekend here a little bit. But it's August 31st, coming to the end of the month. Looking to be the best August since 1984. Pretty weird saying that, all things considered, right? We're still in this middle of this pandemic. There's still a lot of questions around that. Where is some sort of endpoint? There's a lot of questions there. There's a lot of civil unrest here in the United States. We're in the middle of an election season. Election season's really going to start to get going here with elections not too far off. We're only 2 months away from seeing if Trump's going to stay in office or Biden will be taking over. So pretty incredible to see equities, stocks have the best month since. What else is going on today? Well, Tesla, Apple, they will be splitting. The split is today. Tesla 5 for 1, Apple 4 for 1. Or is it vice versa? I'm having a blank here. Nonetheless, we got the split coming. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's going to be kind of interesting. And then just in other news, or things to keep an eye on here this week. We have job numbers coming out on Fridays. We have non-farm payrolls, unemployment number. Unemployment's going to be a different one. It's going to be questionable. Hopefully it's better than the last. But not only that, we're also heading into a holiday weekend. You think about it, this is the last big holiday for everyone to kind of end their summer. So we may see things stay a little quiet till we get that number. The number comes out. Everyone's active for the first hour. And then I guess we'll have to wait and see. Other than that, that's kind of the major stuff going on here today. And then I say we just go ahead and dive right into the charts here real quick and see what we've got going on. And also, good morning, MMS Capital. Charles, Paige, Danielle, Tanya. I'm going to hope it is going to be a great trading week as well. Subconscious, level 2, Sarah Hall. Level 2 missed my overnight entry by 2 ticks. Hey, that's all right. There's always another chance, right? KJ, good afternoon from Poland. Nice. Jimmy, good morning. Esteban, Fanus, good morning, everybody. All right, so as always, let's go ahead and start with our daily in crude, which this chart's still acting up on me. I think, here we go. Here's all we're getting on my daily. I'm going to be redoing my charts here, I guess, today because this one's kind of getting frustrating. Anyhow, as you can see here, crude oil is trading kind of within that range. I'm just going to look right at the 30-minute chart here so we can see what we've got going on. So crude oil has kind of fallen into a nice little range. I think that weekly kickoff high of 43.50, and I'm not really looking too far low. Yeah, we have weekly kickoff low down at 42 even, which is, you think about it, still a relatively tight range for the weekly kickoff levels. Right now, I'm not looking much lower than that 42.60 mark as I look at this market, okay? So that's kind of the area I'm keeping an eye on, 43.50 down to 42.60. 42.60 was actually a pretty pivotal area for us last week a few different times. It gave up some great opportunities. What else do we have here? Well, first off, settlement price is 42.97, and this market is kind of falling into this situation. It's waiting for something to happen, right? We do have the hurricanes. We have everything going down in the Gulf of Mexico. This is a market we know that likes to technically be above 55, but with everything going on with the pandemic, it's hard to get these prices up there because travel is still down. Yes, it's up over the last couple months, but still for an August leading into Labor Day, travel is still down. So that's what's making this market really struggle to move to the upside. Now, people are going to try and continue to keep this higher because the higher this is, the more opportunity, the more jobs people are going to have, And that's kind of something we want to be seeing right now. We want to see people be working. So I'm going to be watching that 43.50 down to 42.60. Settlement price, 42.97. Pretty ideal price levels for me to be watching today. And I really like that. Right now, we got to wait and see if we can accept in between Thursday and Friday's value area. Right now, I'm kind of just keeping an eye on Thursdays. As we kind of get closer, we'll see if we can break into Friday's value area. If not, if those things hold, look to see this thing come right back up to 43.50. Next, let's look at the S&P 500, which again, just kind of off to the races. Continuing to make those overnight all-time highs in the overnight session. We have weekly kickoff high up here at 33.55 and weekly kickoff low down here at 33.97. So this market is trading well within the range of the weekly kickoff values. Again, if you don't know the weekly kickoff levels, you can subscribe to our emails, and every Sunday will be the weekly kickoff email. And in there is a link to all of our weekly kickoff levels. They have, as a lot of you guys have seen, they've come into play really nicely here lately. So market is maintaining beautiful trend to the upside. As we look a little bit closer, what do we've got going on? We have just now, all right, so now we're starting to push a little bit lower. We're coming to check that 35 handle out. Settlement price last night was right here at 35.04 half. So we got settlement price 35.04 half. This is where we're looking for opportunity, right? This is where I am always looking for opportunity. I watch that market close the gap right down to settlement price. Here's our opportunity. We have two choices, right? Well, it doesn't matter. Trade however you think this may go. Trade where you think maybe I can get the least amount of risk to get in on this trade, because opportunity comes from settlement. Settlement's going to be one of two things. It's going to be an accelerant. That market's going to touch settlement and just continue in that direction and pick up some speed. On the flip side, settlement can become a diving board of sorts, a springboard. That market could come down here, check settlement price, and bounce and turn right back around and go make those all-time highs again. That's going to be the bigger question. All-time highs have been consistently being made in the overnight session. Will they hold, or will we see new all-time highs here in this session? Right now, here's what I'm kind of getting an eye on. Market is still in a nice direction. Just as I continue to look here, we are holding nice trend to the upside. We're not kind of making any acceptance to really check below this, and we can kind of continue this little bit of a trend line, right? We can just keep going with it, and it continues to hold. It has held over the last few sessions, so this will be something I am going to keep an eye on. All right, so what am I looking at here in the S&P 500? My first price that I was looking at, if this thing comes lower, I'm going to give it down to 34.90, okay? I got to give some room. I like 34.90. Last 2 points of control are right there between 89 and 91, right? So we have a lot of time and a lot of volume traded down at this 34.90. That's what I'm looking for when I'm looking at my levels. I like time and I like volume. Now on the flip side, where can I look at this thing to go? If you guys remember last week on one of the market recaps, JD came out and said, I have a couple things pointing up to 35.20. So I'm going to use JD here. I'm going to keep an eye on that 35.20. And if we get through there, new highs are in order for us. That's what I'm going to be watching here in the S&P 500. Next, let's go ahead and look at the NASDAQ, which you guys saw S&Ps. That trend is holding up really nicely. NASDAQ's starting to slow down a little bit here, and I think that's totally reasonable and totally okay. This has been making new highs for quite some time. This market really has been on a strong trend to the upside. So you can see here, we are starting to slow down. We're kind of hitting a little bit of a wall at that 12,000. 12,000's been a tough price for this thing to really get through. And that's going to be a pivotal price that I'm going to be watching here today and possibly throughout the rest of this week. When we look a little bit closer on the 30-minute chart, this market made that new high in the overnight session, almost up to 12,100. Market has now come back to settlement price. Settlement price is right where we're at right now. Well, 11,992 quarter. was going to say 992 quarter is settlement price. If settlement price holds, where can we really look at this thing to go? There's a lot of direction, right? We're in new all-time highs. We're in areas that are uncharted. But the first thing I'm going to kind of keep an eye on is I'm going to be watching this 12,050 on our way up. If we hit a wall there, it may want to stall. If we get through that, all-time highs I really think are well within our reach up at 12,100. On the downside, I have a lot that I believe is not finished down here at 11,960. We have a lot of participation at this price. We held at this price for 3 straight days. We finally broke out of it when we opened up last night, right? And so I really do think there is some unfinished business down here at 11,960. So that's going to be kind of that low area I'm keeping an eye on here today. Alrighty. Let's take a look at the gold, which the dollar continues to take a little bit of a hit. Will gold kind of turn back around and want to go find those highs? It's going to be... Oh, so Tesla has been adjusted. I do apologize. I did not catch that this morning. Tesla has been adjusted. Pretty wild to watch that one. All right, so weekly kickoff high, weekly kickoff low here in gold are 2006, and we are tightening. No, we're not. Weekly kickoff low, 1924. Excuse me, I was reading my thing wrong. All right, so markets holding well in between these two price points. There's a lot that says this may rocket back to all-time highs, but it's going to take a little bit, right? We're going to have to start to see stocks slowing up. We're going to have to start to see this dollar maybe take a little bit more of a hit, even though it has taken quite a hit so far. So what are we looking at here? This thing has been range-bound for the last couple weeks. Well, I'm not looking to jump outside of that range. I'm not looking to get crazy here. I have my models are telling me nothing really. I'm looking at 1987 up above, and I'm looking down below at 1955. A little bit bigger, maybe a bigger range, but we are coming off of a couple volatile few days here. It's worth paying attention to. So those are kind of my highs and lows in this thing right now. We're sitting right on settlement price of 1975 even. So we settled 1975. This market, it's toying with that price point right now. We did spend a lot of time and a lot of volume in the overnight session trading within Friday's value area. So I think value area is going to be pretty pivotal here throughout the day. Obviously, right now we are trading up above it by about $2. It's not accepted yet, right? We got to wait some time. We're going to wait for this thing to really accept outside of that value area. If it doesn't accept, we can look to see this thing just start to rotate and stay in a fairly tight range too. We may see this thing kind of bottom out. Friday's, look at, it's not a point of control, but man, it wanted to be. Friday's high volume down here at 1965, where that market came and checked last night. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing come check that price one more time here today. Next, let's go ahead and look at the euro. I do apologize. I'm looking at our weekly kickoff levels here today, and I do believe our euro prices are just slightly mistyped. So I do have a request to figure out if someone can get me the right values on those. John sent them over on Saturday, I believe, and I was not privy to those levels just yet. So I'll make sure we get those things updated, and maybe on the recap here today, I'll have some more fair values. So market right now, pushing those highs, kind of right where I was watching. Actually, my high is 119.44. So let's just get right into it here. Let's take a look. So the first thing I said was this double top here. I feel like that was going to hold strong. 1944 was my price point. That's not the case. As dollar takes a hit, the euro continues to soar. And European stocks are up right now. They are up. So maybe there's a little correlation there. I don't know the actual correlations to European stocks and the euro, but hey, maybe that's the case. So what else am I looking at here? First off, we have settlement price down here at 118.94 118.50. 118.94 half, okay? And market checked it in the overnight and did exactly what we love to see settlement price do. Settlement created that springboard, and this market really took off. And so that's kind of the trade that I'm looking at right now. I'm really looking, this is in a trending direction. It is telling us that it's moving in a higher direction. Now, if it comes back around, I'm going to be looking for it to kind of hit a little bit of a wall right here at this 119.20. But it is in a trending direction. When we are in a trend, we want to trade with trend. Remember, trend is our friend. We want to get in on that direction. So we're just looking for those points of weakness to go ahead and get in on this. And if that doesn't work, if it starts to show us that it's turning around, that's when we can start to think about those short opportunities. So right now, we're hitting those highs. I'm hesitant to do anything at this point. I'm going to wait till equities open, see what happens here. If this thing starts to give back, then I'm going to start to look for some opportunity. All right, next, let's go ahead and look at the yen. All right, so as you can see, yen has kind of as well fallen into quite a bit of range. And this price, this 94 or 95 even, has been such a rejected price so many times, so consistently, that it's definitely something that's worth paying attention to every time the price gets up here. Creates opportunity. So that's going to be kind of the high here. Obviously, with the way this market's going right now, it is working lower. It's got to be a little cautious. Remember, Japan's prime minister is stepping down for some health reasons. So there's a lot going on in Japan that can affect the yen. As we look a little, all right, my 30-minute chart's gone. Well, that's exciting. Let's just open up a new one. None of my stuff's here, so I'm going to have to do a little work on this thing to get a little better idea, but I just want to really quick kind of point out a couple price points. First off, we have settlement price all the way up here at 94.87. So, like I was saying, if I see this market come up to 95, and I don't see it getting up there today, but I want to point this price out. It has paid out multiple times over the last couple weeks, and it has paid out hugely. So I'm going to continue to watch that 95. Now, on the flip side of things, the first price I have is 94.37. We're sitting right there right now. If 94.37 holds, I'm going to look to maybe see this thing start to try and recover a little bit, and that'll be kind of the low side of my channel. And maybe we'll start to find some sort of a high side right at that 94.65. Now, if we continue to extend lower, I do have one more price way down there, 93.95. That would be a huge range, but again, that would just kind of give back all the gains we had last week. So there's a couple areas that I think are worth keeping an eye on. Awesome. All right, everybody. We got 10 minutes to the open. We've got a lot going on this week. Definitely an exciting week, in my opinion. We have these stock splits. The weight of Apple has decreased. There's a lot going on there. Just see, level 2 is doing what I think a lot of these splits are going. These stocks that are, or traders that are looking for splits or own the stock, are going to take advantage of during this split. They're going to look to take some profits off the table. I think there's a lot of opportunity for that there. All right, so really quick, just want to say good morning to everyone else. Doyle, good morning. Keith, good morning. Troy, Bryce, and Jay, good morning, everybody. Level 2's in at 35.02. All right. Yeah, Apple's down to number 12. I mean, that's a huge effect. I was reading some articles about it this weekend, and the way Apple is changing is really going to affect the Dow. Now, the Dow's up 8.4% this month, which is huge. Biggest month since 1984. it was a strong month for the Dow, so I'm going to continue to keep an eye on things there, and we'll see how this whole thing takes place. I mean, you got a lot of the old dogs are out, and the young tech companies are in. Maybe that's the oomph it needs to get to those highs. We are up on the year now. We are up on the year. We're just not near those all-time highs. So, anyhow, guys, I'm going to sign on out of here. I'll see you back here this afternoon, 3 p.m. Central Time, for the market recap with John Doherty. Until then, you guys stay safe, wash your hands, and trade well. I look forward to seeing you guys